No. I'd have known you were a Cancer, even if you hadn't told me.
Would you really, Ian?
Oh, yes. Cancerians are well known for their sympathy and patience.
Which I suppose I've been demonstrating by sitting here listening to all your rubbish about astrology.
It is not rubbish, Sarah. It really works. I mean, for instance, I'm a Capricorn, and my former wife was a Sagittarius. Relationship never stood a chance.
So you're saying that's why your marriage broke up, are you?
Yes.
Nothing to do with the fact that you kept on having affairs?
It's just my Capricorn nature.
I see. So you're working your way through the zodiac until you find a sign you are compatible with?
Well...
Or just any old sign that'll give you one?
What I really need, actually, is a nice, unattached Cancer.
Fancy that.
Yes, I do. Pure sexual chemistry when a Capricorn and a Cancer get together. You see, the Cancer has all the humanity and faithfulness.
And the Capricorn's just a randy old goat.
Well, wouldn't say that.
Ian, it's nice to see you again, but you know and I know that what you're saying is just a great big load of Taurus.
It isn't. You know, I always knew we'd meet again one day, Sarah.
Yes, don't tell me. It was written in the stars.
Mock not. There's a lot in all this prediction stuff.
Oh, yes?
I mean, do you know the prophecies of Nostradamus?
Heard of them. All those little rhymes he wrote in the 16th century.
That's it. And as a matter of fact, I happened to come across one today that was very apt.
Amaze me.
It went, on the 6th day of March at 11:10, a lucky man will encounter Sarah France. He'll be enchanted to see her again. And she'll say yes when he asks her to dance.
It's all about contrived.
I know, but you can't very well say no to a dance after that, can you?
I must go.
Okay, off you go. But you will have dinner with me tomorrow night.
Well,
You said you would.
all right, pick me up a day. See you. Oh, well, they don't make a Capricorn, do they?
Sarah, I was not spying on you. I just heard a noise and opened the curtain to check that it wasn't a burglar.
Well, it wasn't, was it? It was me.
Well, still a perfectly reasonable suspicion. People who are out as late as that are generally up to no good.
Really?
That Ian always did have a reputation, even in his teens. You know he was the reason they had the bicycle sheds behind the youth club pulled down. Oh, my stars say that I'm going to have my horizons broadened today.
Not before time.
Now, you're a Cancer, aren't you?
Please, Mother.
What, dear?
Look, Mother, I had the full treatment from Ian last night.
Did you?
About astrology, and I don't want to hear any more.
It says Cancerians are going to have an evening of advances and retreats.
That figures I'm having dinner with him.
With Ian?
So he'll make the advances and I'll do the retreats.
Sarah, you will be careful, won't you?
Mother, trust me, I won't go near a single bicycle shed. Incidentally, what does the paper promise to Capricorns?
Oh, you're thinking about Clare?
No, Ian's a Capricorn, too. I want to know what his prospects are for tonight.
Capricorn should be prepared for a romantic disappointment.
I think I can guarantee to arrange that for him.
Morning.
Morning, love.
Hello, dear.
Good evening.
Great.
And you got home at a reasonable hour, unlike some people.
Edward's still scrummy.
Oh, scrummier than ever.
Wonderful. Do you enjoy the film?
Not bad.
What was it?
Betty Blue, very French, lots of bonking.
And what's all that grimacing about?
Sorry, I was just, I didn't know whether you knew what bonking meant.
And why shouldn't I?
Well, no reason, no. Anyway, your horizons are due to be broadened today, aren't they?
Honestly, Sarah, you sometimes behave as if I'm completely ignorant.
Well,
Oh, come on then, Granny. Do you really know what bonking means?
Of course I do.
What then?
Really, it's not as if I didn't do it at school. And you, Sarah. And you, Clare. You were both taught at school, too.
bonking.
Oh, no, not bonking specifically, but French.
French?
Yes. Bonking is a French word.
Is it?
Yes. La banque means the bank. La banking is clearly the French word for banking.
Of course, Mother. How silly of me.
I'm surprised you enjoyed it, though, Clare. It's true. I didn't know you were interested in French banking.
Isn't that your phone, Granny?
Oh, yes. Probably Vera polling, wanting my advice about something. She's a Gemini, you see, always in two minds. Though, quite honestly, in her case, there's not that much to choose between them.
Oh, dear.
La bonking!
So, apropos of nothing, am I to gather that things are still all right between you and Edward?
Fab, and so good that tonight we're going to a party given by the girl he used to live with.
Ah, aren't you worried about getting jealous?
No, Edward said only last night that I was the least jealous person he'd ever met.
You? Good heavens, Clare.
Mummy, reason I came in, could I borrow some cash? Cash point ate my card yesterday.
How much?
Could you do 5?
Yes.
Or even 10?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All part of the service?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm from the bark that likes to say we.
Well, this book doesn't agree. It says Capricorns are usually found to be compatible with those born between April the 21st to May the 22nd, or August the 22nd to September the 22nd. So, it sounds as if Ian got his facts wrong.
Quite deliberately.
He'd invent a whole new solar system if he thought it was likely to get a woman into bed.
Now, look, you only have to say if you want me to ring up at 11:30 tonight and do my impression of your aggrieved 6'5" policeman, judo black belt lover.
I don't think that'll be necessary.
Well, if you change your mind, ring me here.
Here?
Yes, I shall probably be here quite late. Bob's at his parents'. I want to check through some stuff.
Is everything all right, Russell?
Yeah, of course. Now, Pisces. Pisces. Oh, dear. It says here, Piscean's chief fault is lack of business sense.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Well, hardly humming with activity for a Saturday afternoon, is it?
No, maybe not, but...
Actually, Sarah, I've been meaning to mention for some time, things aren't too good on the financial front.
Oh. What are you actually saying, Russell?
Well, I'm saying that if something rather remarkable doesn't happen rather quickly, I'm going to have to sell bygone books.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to break it to you like this. The fact is that rents all along the parade have shot up. There's a new bank manager who unfortunately isn't as stupid as the former one, and, well...
Russell, sorry.
Do you know, I actually read my stars in the paper this morning.
And?
Said, if you are to go forward, you must be prepared to part with something that you really treasure.
Ah. But you don't believe all that rubbish, do you, Russell?
No. No, of course not.
So you see, Eleanor, dear, while my daughter Tricia is away on her old girls' reunion today, I have to entertain her husband Giles the whole afternoon and evening. It won't be much fun.
Oh, but surely he's used to you by now, Vera.
I mean, it won't be much fun for me. When they're just the two of us together, the whole conversation is full of awkward silences. Giles, as I may have mentioned, is a merchant banker. And the trouble is, he has no conversation outside his work. And merchant banking is not a subject about which I know a great deal.
What is?
Sorry?
Don't worry, Vera, dear. Of course I'll help you entertain your boring son-in-law. After all, what are friends for?
I sometimes wonder.
There aren't often any awkward silences in the conversation when I'm around, are there?
No, dear. You can always be relied upon to fill them. Never too fussed about what you fill them with, but you always do fill them, don't you?
Giles.
Well, thank you, Eleanor.
So, you're a merchant banker.
Yes.
And what would I have to do if I wanted to open an account with you?
You couldn't.
Ah, would that be because Eleanor isn't a merchant?
Sorry?
I think Vera may be under the illusion that only merchants can use merchant banks, which certainly isn't the case, is it, Giles?
Oh, no, you see, merchant banks aren't like high street banks.
No, of course they're not. What a silly mistake to make, Vera.
We deal in arranging finance for companies, advising on the making and avoidance of takeovers, a certain amount of fund management, that kind of thing.
Ah,
Ah.
how interesting. Isn't that interesting, Vera?
Oh, yes, yes, most interesting. Another world.
Oh, yes. More tea, Giles.
Ada, Ada.
Ada, Ada.
Eo, Ada, dear.
Eo, Ada, dia.
These are mystic words which are considered of great potency.
Really?
Right. So now you pick one up.
I don't believe in this, you know.
Now, it says here that you can tell the future from dominoes. Go on, could be encouraging. 6 means money to come.
Does it really? 4 and 1.
That is O.
What?
Trouble through debt.
Charm. It's not telling me the future, that's telling me the present. What's sickening about the whole business is that the actual sums involved are so relatively small. A few thousand, that'd be all right. In the past, when there were slumps, the bank saw me through. The new manager doesn't seem to have heard of Robin Hood.
Banks have always been on the side of the Sheriff of Nottingham.
What are the traditional methods of saving an ailing business?
Start a fire, claim the insurance. That's always been popular.
I couldn't burn books.
You couldn't.
Right. Double blank.
Ah, much misfortune.
Thanks a lot.
More tea, Giles.
Thank you, Eleanor.
And you say the merchant banking business is becoming more international.
Yes. London, New York, Tokyo, all interrelated.
Of course. And Europe, you say?
Oh, yes. Germany, France.
That's interesting.
What?
Well, the fact that Europe is involved too. Isn't that interesting, Vera?
Oh, very interesting.
Excuse me. I wonder if I could just go and see George.
George? Who's George?
No, I want to see a man about a dog.
Patricia doesn't like dogs.
No, I'm sorry. I want to go to the lavatory.
Oh,
It's all that tea.
oh, yes, of course. Through the door, first on the right.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness. It's only 5 o'clock. When did Tricia say she'd be back?
10:30 at the earliest.
5.5 hours.
I'm disappointed in you, Eleanor. I was sure you'd have some wonderful ideas of how to entertain him.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, I've said everything possible about merchant banking and going into Europe.
I told you it would be difficult.
Yes, but it didn't occur to me that it would... Vera, don't worry. All our troubles are at an end.
What?
I've suddenly thought of the perfect way of entertaining Giles. No, Giles, I think you'll find the subject of this film is something that really interests you.
Lovely. That should do the trick perfectly.
Which trick?
Making Edward's former girlfriend jealous.
Come on, do you think that's what I'm really trying to do?
Yes.
Well,
Wouldn't be human if you weren't.
no, well, maybe a little bit.
Good luck to you. Incidentally, I was just thinking, Edward used to live with this girl whose party you're going to tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps he's looking for another girl to live with.
And what if he is?
Nothing. Just keep me informed of major developments, won't you, love?
Yes, Mummy, I'll keep you informed of major developments.
Good.
Anyway, what about you? Any of your male friends looking for someone to live with?
What do you mean, any of my male friends?
Well, Sam.
He's sweet, but I don't think he thinks of me as anything permanent.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure. How about Ian?
Claire, Ian and permanence are two mutually exclusive terms. I think for him, 10 minutes regarded as a long-term commitment.
Well, what does he want from a relationship, then?
Uncomplicated sex.
Is that what you were looking for, too?
Claire, I may be looking for it, but I can assure you that with your father only 2 years dead, any sex I'm involved in is extremely complicated.
Right. Sorry.
It's all right. No. Ian's just one of those men with whom it's a point of honour to make a pass at anything in a skirt.
Clever ruse, Mummy.
What?
Wearing trousers, that'll really confuse him.
I can't understand. Claire definitely said it was a film about French banking.
Yes, but it was... Well, wasn't it?
It certainly was. My stars said my horizons would be broadened today.
What on earth will Giles be thinking? I don't suppose he'll ever speak to me again.
Well, what can I say?
Now, there's no need for you to say anything, Giles. I'm just so sorry.
It's the best evening I've had in years, Mother. And thank you, Eleanor, for the choice of film. We must do it again sometime.
Certainly.
But, not a word to Tricia, right?
Do you know what this is?
Well, it looks like a cup of coffee.
Good. You're absolutely right. Well done.
Sorry?
Well, I'm glad you recognised it, that's all. I invited you in for a cup of coffee, and I'm delighted to discover that you know what I mean by the expression a cup of coffee. This, and just this.
Thank you. I think I get the message. You know, I've always fancied you, Sarah.
Have you?
Yes. Ever since I was at school. I remember I was so desperate then to kiss you.
Well, you never did.
No, but I nearly did once. It was after our one and only date. I brought you back to your house, and we sat down on the sofa, and I was just about to kiss you.
And my mother walked in.
Yes. You know, I still fancy you just as much.
Do you?
These things don't just go away. Don't fight it, Sarah. It's just sexual chemistry.
Is it?
Yes. It's written in the stars. Sarah, I've consulted our horoscopes, and I have a prediction about how this evening's going to end.
Do you know, I have a prediction about that, too.
What are you laughing at?
The fact that my prediction was right.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sarah. I didn't realize you had company.
Mother, you remember Ian, don't you?
Oh. Yes. Actually, it was Clare I was looking for. I have a bone to pick with Clare on the subject of French banking.
Really? Well, she's out at this party with Edward.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, I'll take it up with her in the morning. Good night, Sarah. Good night, Ian.
But, Mother... I don't know. The one time in my life when I actually wanted to muscle in on my social life, she doesn't.
Am I to gather from that, Sarah, that you don't welcome my advances?
Well, it took a little while, Ian, but I'm glad the message got through eventually.
Oh. But, Sarah, if I go now, I'll be all lonely. What am I going to do at home all on my own?
I suggest, Ian, that you play with your sexual chemistry set.
Thank you, Sarah.
5 blank. Sorrow, but not in your own home. Doesn't get any more cheerful, this, does it?
Hello?
Oh, Sarah, I was wondering if I'd chosen the right psychological moment to ring as your aggrieved 6'5" policeman, judo black belt lover.
No, I'm sorry you haven't, Russell. That problem's gone away, but I'm afraid I'm dealing with another Capricorn's romantic disappointment. I'll ring you as soon as I can. Bye. Love. I'm sure Edward only danced with her all evening to see if he could make you jealous.
Well, he succeeded, didn't he?
Bygone books.
Oh, you're still there? Look, I'm sorry that I had to...
Sarah, have you ever heard me say that I wished I had a first edition of Keats' poems?
Ooh, only about twice a day for the last 2 years. Why?
Because I have.
Russell!
Bottom of that box we got from the old library. Mine, all mine.
Oh, but Russell...
Oh, I know, only briefly, but mine, all mine until I sell it, until I part with something that I really treasure.
At least it isn't the shop.
I know. Oh, Keats first will easily tide me over. I've opened a bottle of champagne to celebrate.
Great.
How are things with you?
Ooh, an evening of advances and retreats, you could say. I'll give you the blow-by-blow account on Monday.
All right.
One thing before I fall into bed. Turn another domino over for me, Russell. See what I get this time.
6 and a blank.
What does that mean?
Caution about the future is essential.
Yes, well, I'd say that just about sums it up. Night, Russell.